What's going on out there, YouTube? This is SCL0320 back at it again for a technical open discussion, but for the first time ever, I'm going to be doing a collaboration with the amazing Adelle, or roll credits. What we're going to be talking about is our top 5 villains of the 2000s. So everybody knows the 90s had a bulk load of amazing villains from different people from wide ranges, but the 2000s, like, who are the real iconic villains when it's judged and assessed on the acting level, on their energy level, on their character just in general? Did they make a name for themselves as a character? We're going to be going into our picks for our top 5 villains. And so if you would like to, go right here and you'll be able to check out all Adelle's amazing reviews. This girl, she's got so many different talents on a filmmaking perspective, on an intellectual standpoint. Like, she's got, I think, 1 major film where she's directed, written. She's been a part of, I think, over 6 or 8 different film projects. She's just an awesome person. So please go and subscribe to her channel. It's an amazing watch to see. I check out different things she's done, comment. We do that back and forth and banner. But we were like, we definitely had to go and do this collaboration. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my first number 5 pick. My number 5 pick for the top villains of the 2000s is Denzel Washington in Training Day. So Denzel Washington, I mean, this is that role that won him the Academy Award, but everybody's known that he's got depth. I mean, he's done Glory. I mean, he's done Out of Time, sorry. He's done so many different roles that, like, he can shift like that, but we've never seen him be the heel or the antagonist. In this one, you had Ethan Hawke, and he was playing like the guy that was being trained by Denzel Washington's character. Denzel Washington's character in this one, he was named Alonzo Harris. But Denzel, just in his energy, and you could tell he's a seasoned vet of a police officer, but it's like corruption was his reality. Before The Shield came out, I saw Training Day. And so I felt like after looking at Training Day, I was like, I could easily go straight into the role where Vic Mackey was like doing whatever he had to do to get to that role. But we see Denzel Washington at the end of his role. Like, he's gone and bust countless of people. He had a rap sheet that he had taken out so many different people that nobody could really touch him, but he had to manipulate the system to do it. And I mean, in this role, I mean, he's killed his best friend. He's tried to kill the main character. He's got a son and a girlfriend, and it's just the way that he interacts and his presence there. It's like a level of swag, but you know this man is dangerous. I mean, the scene where he has the main character go and smoke some narcotics, and just has him like, look, this isn't a question. You know what I'm saying? And it's just his presence on that role. It was just like, wow. Like, I mean, I will never forget when I was in the theaters and I saw that for the first time. I was like, yeah, this dude's got a presence here. He's gonna win the Academy. I knew, but it was like, it's sad to see that characters that have to go outside the norm in order to get that #1 spot, you know? And I mean, you can say that this might be like a little bit further up, but I'll go through the other ones. So that was my number 5, Denzel Washington as Alonzo Harris, the character, in the movie Training Day. All right, the next one I got coming up, and I'll say this is my order. I'll go ahead and say this is my order. So the next one is Javier Bardum and No Country for Old Men. So No Country for Old Men, it had a lot of stars. It had Tommy Lee Jones, it had Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin, now we've heard, is going to be Thanos. He's played in different things. But Javier Bardem, I'd never seen play in different things. And I know that there was some movie, it was, what was it? It was something about a city. I just only heard mentions of his name. But when I saw this movie, and I looked, and I was like, this is the weirdest character presence I've ever seen. This is before he kills anybody, or before he even like uses the iconic pressure gun that is in this role. But the way that he carries himself as a character, Anton Chigurh, in this role is just like, I don't know. I think that at a certain point when he went to the diner and he was interacting with this guy that was just normal diner, and he was like kind of twirling a coin. And he's like, how much do you care about your life or the presence of it? And he's like, what kind of question is that? I was like, this man is emotionless and expressionless. I was like, this man is gonna kill this old man, but I didn't know. It felt like something straight out of like something in your dreams of a villain or a nightmare, you know? And that's kind of how he cared for the rest of the role. Like, I mean, he hunted people down. He was precise. He was manipulative, but at the same time, he had this ominous feel about him. And Javier Bardem, he deserved the Academy Award for this role. A lot of these actually won the Academy Award. I think only one on my list didn't. So that is my number 4 pick. Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men portrayed the role of Anton Chigurh. The next one I have, this is one of my favorites, but it's hard for me to pick which movie because it's around the same exact time. It wasn't, but it is. It was still within the 2000s. So Daniel Day-Lewis, we've known him from Lincoln, we've known him from Last of the Mohegans, we've known him from so many different roles. But the 2 roles that I'm thinking of is one from Gangs of New York, and the other one is There Will Be Blood. Now, There Will Be Blood has, to me, like, it's a subtle movie, and I mean, I don't count him necessarily as a villain, but at the same time, he could be portrayed as one. Like, at the point, at the end, he's like, I am the 3rd revelation. I will drink your milkshake. I was like, what? And then, I mean, the way that he just portrayed that role, it was just amazing. But I have to give it to the role in Gangs of New York as my number 3 because, I mean, just the way that he portrayed the character of Bill Cuttington, or the Butcher, what they called him. And I mean, he faced off against Liam Neeson. He faced off against Leonardo DiCaprio. He faced off against all these different kind of, I mean, I'm just talking about in presence. In character, I mean, the dude could fight. And I mean, his specialty was knives because he was a butcher. But just the way that he did things, and he had this eye that had like a it was an eagle eye, and it was fake, but he was so scary of the character. And Leonardo DiCaprio's character kind of played off that very well, in my opinion. But he deserved the Academy Award for this role because this, to me, was kind of the breakout for me of seeing him. Like, I was like, after that, I was like, man, I want to see every movie this dude's gonna do because he immerses himself into a role. And he was just so scary as a character because, I mean, like, there was one point they was gonna be having like a peace treaty kind of thing. He just shanks the guy. It was like a point where Leonardo DiCaprio, he was like, okay, well, this is the reality. And Leonardo DiCaprio, he was in love with Cameron Diaz's character, and that was the butcher's woman, you know? And when he found out, it was like, oh man, it was just epic. So here's just some of them. So Gangs of New York, highly recommend, most definitely. No Country for Old Men, highly recommend, most definitely. So that brings me to my number 2 pick. My number 2 pick is Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mr. Candy, or in other words, Calvin Candy, the plantation owner that, oh my gosh, like, his character, I've never seen Leonardo DiCaprio like that. I've seen, of course, Wolf on Wall Street, that was after that, you know, and I mean, we've seen him in so many countless things, but this was the year, in my opinion, that Leonardo DiCaprio should have won the Academy Award. He didn't. And I give it to Waltz, but I understand that. But this guy, his presence, he was like so proper, and he was so like kind of preppy in a sense, but it was just this evil that was oozing out of him from his teeth, from his demeanor, from his look, from when he smoked a cigarette. Like, it was like you knew that this man reveled in being a plantation owner. He reveled in making things suffer, but he didn't have a correct understanding. Now, what's debatable is that I was thinking that Samuel Jackson really did a great job too, because he, in my opinion, he was the one that led all of it. But there wasn't anything that Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Candy, wouldn't do. I mean, when we got to the scene, and I don't know if y'all know the story or not, but when you get to the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is got Django, he's got Waltz, he's got Washington there on the thing, and he's like, I know what's going on. and it will be taken care of. And he goes, he takes Washington's head and pushes her on the ground, and he has the hammer. And I was like, oh snap. He was like, I'm gonna do it, you know? And he's like, there's been a lot of lies up in here. And he goes, slacks down, and like his hand is like, you don't know it, but his hand gets cut at that scene. So when he has the hammer in his hand and he's about to smash it on the ground, like he goes and he takes his hand, he just smears the blood all over her face. He still stays in character. That is his real blood. I don't know how Washington didn't freak out, but I was like, this man is in it. And he's in it to win it. I mean, I think if his character hadn't gotten killed a little bit like sooner, like I mean if he had been later more than sooner, I don't know if he would have gotten Academy Award, if he had more opportunity, but it just, he fit that role of that villain's character. I mean, when he had those African-American males, big buff African-American males, tearing himself limb from limb just from a fight, it was just like, he reveled in being that villain. He became Candy. And in my opinion, that deserved that second seed. So without further ado, for my last one, which y'all can probably see back there, I'm gonna take everything else down. That Dark Knight. Heath Ledger as the Joker. There is no other name. There is no other name of who his character is. This man, Heath Ledger, that was in The Knight's Tale, that was in so many other movies. I mean, 10 Things I Hate About You. I mean, he became the Joker. He went, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I think that he went to an asylum to study and lock himself away just to kind of get the voice right, to get the mannerism right, to make sure that he engulfed himself into a character, and he succeeded beyond anyone's dreams or imagination. We had never seen implications to this level of somebody changing themselves in such a way that their voice, their tone, their demeanor, their presence filled with just darkness. And I mean, he literally had a smile on his face the whole time because there was a scar from up to this level. And I was like, the first time I saw it, there was a reason that The Dark Knight, I've seen it over 20 times, if not 15 or 20 times in the theaters. I was like, I have to buy it when it came out. But it was just such a presence that Heath Ledger had in that. God rest his soul, R.I.P. He did the performance of a lifetime. Of course, nobody could deny that he did not deserve that. And I'm glad that he rightfully so, but he is by far my #1 pick for the greatest villains of 2000. It hasn't been shared with yet. Anybody else has kind of topped that, and I'm not sure if they ever will do something to his level. Whoever bids the next Joker, like, I pray for him. Like, I don't care if it's gonna be Andrew, not Andrew, who was it? It was talking about being the Joker. Casey Affleck possibly, Adrian Brody possibly, I don't even know, Jack Sparrow himself, Johnny Depp possibly. Whoever it is, I pray for them, because getting that deep, I mean, even Jack Nicholson's role in the older one, like he had even said, he was like, you can't get so deep. And he's like, I told Ledger that he shouldn't have went that deep, shouldn't even attempt it, you know. And I mean, that was an open conversation that he had. I'm not sure if he was drinking that night or not, but he just got himself lost in a row. And everything he did, from blowing up the hospital or going and threatening people. I mean, he was killing people left and right. And like, he was doing it on the sly. His whole presence was just to break Gotham and break Batman's morality complex. He's like, no, you will compromise one way or another. And he did. He beat him, you know? And it was just, I don't know, it was just an amazing performance. And so that is my top 5 list. And so I'm interested to see whatever Adelle's list is going to be. I don't know yet. So this is going to be a surprise for both of us. But I also, in addition to the collaboration, which I'm really going to enjoy, like hopefully we can do this more often again. Since Adelle's not here, I'm going to bring Joe for my top 5, or maybe a little bit more, alternative lists. So hold on one second and we're gonna get to that right now. Yo, Joe. Get up real quick, man. Oh, snap. So I got Joe, my partner, the dude, the man, the plan, shining on you. Shining on you. So,
what's up, YouTube?
So we're gonna go and talk about alternative lists, because I think that everybody did an amazing job that were literally on this list. So first up, we're gonna talk about Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch plays the role of, well, spoiler alert, Khan. In the movie, what, wrong one. Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah.
He had just such a ferocity about his character, man. Like, he, not only physically was he superior to all of them, but on an intellectual level, man, he just murdered the role.
He did.
Like, did you enjoy his performance?
Most definitely, man. Like, his performance, I definitely like the introduction to this character. You know, you kind of saw him, you didn't really know what to think about him.
Yeah.
As far as, is he, you knew he was a threat.
Yeah.
But you was like, all right, is he a potential ally? You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't familiar with Khan before watching this movie. So I didn't know that he was going to be an enemy. You know what I'm saying? To that extent. Because there's one point in the movie where they're actually working together.
Just
that
to find out he had ulterior motives.
Yes,
that he was playing though.
The way that, you know, he had that switch and he just completely like changed and was like on a lethal, oh my gosh.
He's ruthless, man.
Ruthless. His danger.
I mean, he crushed the guy's head with his hands.
That's crazy. The dude was just,
he was
I didn't know how they was going to beat him, honestly. I was like, whenever you have a character that's like, I really enjoy performances and roles like that, man. And even the way he acted, like his performance as an actor, he brought it.
Yeah.
You know, he had some moments where he just, like his anger. There was one scene where in the movie where like his anger was just like, he just released his anger. I think he was like in the cell. Man, that part of the movie was just like, that performance.
He's just an amazing actor, period. Awesome. I mean, if you looked at the show Sherlock, he plays that role of Sherlock. His presence is there. And I mean, some people are asking and begging for him to either be one, Doctor Strange or the Joker for the DC universe. And I mean, to be honest with you, if he was, I would go crazy. So we're gonna move on, try to go quick because we don't have that much battery life. But
don't tell them that.
it don't even matter. I ain't worried about nothing. Y'all didn't hear that. Anyway, we got next Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston plays Loki in the Avengers and Thor 2. So this dude is nuts. Like, he is the master manipulator, but he has so much fun with the role that you always see him smirking and smiling. I think that he would have been the best Joker for the new series that's about to come out. If he wasn't part of Marvel, like, I mean, just his character, you don't know the depths of how strong he is. Like, on a superpower level, on a strength level, because he's going toe for toe with Thor most of the time. He looks thin, he looks like he's kind of like weak, but he's not. Yeah. Like, his presence is crazy. I mean, he gave the Avengers and the world a run for his money.
Most definitely.
And I mean, what do you think of his role?
Man, it's his character. The character Loki, man, he is definitely like a manipulator to like the 10th degree, because he's actually like, if he cannot beat someone toe to toe in a fist fight, you can definitely believe this guy is going to manipulate your mind, you know. In the Avengers, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he played him bad.
He played everybody.
I mean, from this get, I mean, he was like targeting the Hulk. You would never even known it. I mean, for him leaving the staff there, he was to manipulate their minds. You would never known it, you know. And the fact that he was working with Thanos, how did he even get to that point of being able to do that? You know what I'm saying? So I think this character is going to come back. I mean, if you look at the end of Thor 2, you know for a fact he will. But it's going to be interesting to see. And I'm interested to see what Adele or roll credits have to say about his role. I think that she's a big fan of him as well. So we're not going to go any further with that. The next up is Michael Fassbender. So if y'all seen 300, if y'all seen 12 Years a Slave, if y'all seen so many different movies he's been in, but his role as Magneto in X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, this man is legit.
Yeah.
Like, he takes Ian McKellen's role of Magneto and puts him on a young spin, and you see the depths of his character. And especially in First Class. Like, I was like, there were times where you could see the emotion pouring out of his eyes. And you could see the anger. When he gets angry, like, there's nothing that he wouldn't do, because he's a character that was tortured for years. I mean, concentration camps, family killed, mother killed in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that would stop him other than his ideals. He has a perspective that everything he's doing is for the right cause, for the right thing of protecting his generation or his family, what he calls his mutants, you know? And I mean, it's like you can understand his character, where he's coming from, but it's like the manipulation and the things that he can do. This is crazy, man.
Magneto the Revolutionary. God, I love like the parts in the movies where you see like emotion literally drop from this dude's face, like stone cold, man. This guy, there's no spoilers, but there's some scenes in movies where he's actually like attacked people. That's work for him, stone cold. Like, he's just. And you just see, like, he's just like, I'm sorry, I gotta do this. And, like, just his face, bro, just all emotion just leaves his face. And he's just like, he's out for blood.
Yeah, I mean, even at the very end of First Class, when you're like, okay, he saves everybody. He's like, you know, I knew these humans were gonna do this. All of a sudden, he's like, you know what? I'm about to kill everybody. And he was serious. He was about to take all those bombs and destroy the whole fleet. And he didn't care. He was fine with it. He was like, I'm justified in this. They were out to kill us. So why not? Eye for eye. That's what his motto is. And in Days of Future Past, it's even crazier, because his powers are even stronger. But anyway, I digress. We're not going to go so far, because like I said, we're very low. We're going to go through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, next up, I don't know if Joe agrees with me on this one, but it's fine. The next one is Tom Hardy in The Dark Knight Rises. I thought that Tom Hardy, from when I looked at The Warrior, and Warrior was a crazy movie, when he was like fighting MMA with his brother, it was just emotion pouring all out of him. When I looked at Lawless, or when I looked at even the Star Trek Nemesis, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew this guy had depth. Bronson, though, when I saw the movie Bronson, I was like, whoa. And they said that he's going to get bigger than he was in Bronson. This guy, from his eyes and his demeanor and the way that he properly talks, made you afraid of what he is capable of. And it wasn't just like Joker. Like, he had the physicality of destroying people. He, tit for tat, destroyed Batman. He broke him. He took this man and broke his morale. He took his man and took every gadget he had, and then he broke him and left him in prison to die. I mean, I was like, even his voice, I was like, everybody was kind of saying like he's using the synthesizer. No, this is his voice. If you look at the movie Lock, you'll know that this is this man's voice, but it's just, he took it and he just elevated to a different level. And they used elevation of a soundbite, but everything else was always performed straight to his eyes. I love that performance, man. What was the good things about when you saw it?
Man, I mean, I thought about it, and I kind of knew what it is. Like, as far as like my hesitancy about putting him on the list, is because I compared him with the Joker. Like, he's Heath Ledger. I always did. But yeah, but he was definitely a good villain, man. Definitely a good villain. Yeah, he brought it. He brought it. But I'm saying like that Heath Ledger.
Anything that gives you power over me.
That Heath Ledger playing the Joker, man. That was a legendary performance.
Nobody can top that.
Legendary performance.
Nobody can top that. But for a follow-up villain, he did his thing.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Most definitely.
So, last person on our list is Philip Seymour Hoffman playing Owen Devian in Mission Impossible 3.
Yes.
So, Philip Seymour Hoffman, God rest his soul, he was going to be in the next Mockingjay. I think he recorded part 1. He's going to be in parts of part 2. I mean, he did a great job in Catching Fire, but he's done movies for years. Capote, he owns the role. I mean, all these different kind of movies, but his role in Mission Impossible 3, it was overlooked. In my opinion, I think it was underrated. This guy did so much meat with this character. He was scary.
I was like, this man takes somebody like Ethan. Now, Ethan, like, he can do anything. He is Mission Impossible, but he brought Ethan down to his knees. He had Ethan crying because he's about to take out his entire family, his world. And this is all because he's like, oh, you disrespected me. This is the principle of that. You did this. I was like, what? I'm not gonna go any further with it, but just his level of villainess. I mean, he has to be on this list. I had to, you know.
Definitely, man. How he gets Ethan's name, I was just like, if you watch the movie, he goes through this insane amount of, he puts himself through a insane amount of stress just to get the dude's name.
Yeah.
And at that point, my jaw dropped. I was like, yo,
he just dropped the mic.
Messing with me.
It was
who are we dealing with right now?
Yeah. But
you know,
but it was amazing. It was an amazing performance. But that concludes our kind of final thoughts about it. I mean, honorable mentions would be probably Christoph Waltz as the Colonel in Inglourious Bastards. Dane DeHaan as Andrew Detmer in Chronicle. He did an amazing job. J. Tai that plays Wu Jin and Old Boy, the original Old Boy. I thought he did an amazing job. I mean, those are just honorable mentions, but there's so many different ones. I mean, you got like Tom Cruise that played in Collateral. There's so many different roles. Even Joaquin Phoenix in The Gladiator. So, without further ado, we're gonna conclude this. And I look forward, y'all have to go and check out Roll Credits top 5 list. I hope you enjoyed this top list that we had. And y'all have a great and blessed day and blessed evening.
God bless.
Everything, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do more of this. And matter of fact, we have shot a whole 5 hours yesterday on a brand new film that we're working on. We've done chapters 1 and 2. And if you click on this link right here at the bottom, you'll be able to go to the channel that actually has the first 2 chapters that we star in, and I'm helping to direct and I've written. So hopefully y'all enjoy that as well. But we're gonna be out. Y'all take it easy.
Good stuff, Sam.
Deuces.